Down in the northeast of England, which is so far away from the Delta and the Mississippi and all of that thing. And there I am.
In the world of hard rock music, Paul Rodgers stands out as one of the most powerful and respected vocalists of all time. As the lead singer of Free and Bad Company, he helped create some of the most memorable rock songs ever recorded. However, behind his incredible success lay a perfectionist who held very strong opinions about what rock music should be and how musicians should conduct themselves. Paul Rodgers was not just a talented singer who happened to be successful. He was a man with deep principles about music and artistry. He believed that rock music should come from a genuine place in the heart and soul, not just be created for commercial success or entertainment value. This strong belief system led him into conflicts with several other famous musicians throughout his career. These were not simple disagreements or minor disputes. They were fundamental clashes about what rock music should represent and how artists should approach their craft. Rodgers valued musical honesty above everything else, even if it meant creating tension with other performers in the industry. His confrontations with various musicians reveal someone who was willing to stand up for his beliefs, even when it might have been easier to stay quiet and get along with everyone. The conflicts were rooted in deeper philosophical differences about the purpose of rock music. While some artists saw rock as pure entertainment or a way to make people forget their troubles, Rodgers believed it should touch people's souls and help them understand their emotions. This difference in approach led to lasting tensions with several prominent musicians who became successful using methods that Rodgers felt were wrong for the genre. The conflict with Sammy Hagar. One of the most significant conflicts was with Sammy Hagar, the energetic rock singer known for his party-focused approach to music. During the late 1970s, both singers were establishing themselves as major forces in hard rock, but they had completely different philosophies about what their music should accomplish. According to music industry insiders, Rodgers privately criticized Hagar's approach to rock music. He reportedly told band members that Hagar was more like a beer commercial than a serious rock singer. Rodgers felt that Hagar's party anthem style was damaging to the emotional potential that rock music could have. While Hagar was writing songs about partying and having a good time, Rodgers was crafting music that explored deeper human experiences and genuine emotions. The problem for Rodgers was not just Hagar's lyrics about partying and drinking. It was the fact that this approach was becoming incredibly popular with audiences. Hagar was achieving major commercial success with what Rodgers saw as superficial entertainment that reduced rock music to background noise for drinking games. Rodgers believed that rock should do more than just help people forget their problems. It should help them understand and deal with their emotions. In interviews, Rodgers made comments that seemed to target Hagar's style without naming him directly. He suggested that some singers thought making people forget their problems was the same as helping them understand their emotions, but that real music should do both. He believed that rock music should touch people's souls, not just get them drunk. The rivalry became more intense when both vocalists were featured in similar music publications and received similar radio play. At industry events, Rodgers reportedly avoided meeting Hagar, telling his manager that he did not want to network with people who had turned rock concerts into spring break parties. This showed how deeply Rodgers felt about maintaining the integrity of rock music as an art form, rather than just entertainment. The disagreement with David Lee Roth. Another major conflict was with David Lee Roth, the acrobatic frontman of Van Halen. This disagreement represented a fundamental difference of opinion about what constituted authentic rock performance. While Roth was known for his athletic stage presence and theatrical antics, Rodgers believed that great rock performance should focus primarily on vocal ability and emotional connection with the audience. During the early 1980s, both singers were dominating arena rock, but with completely different performance styles. According to music journalists, Rodgers privately complained that Roth was more like a circus performer who had accidentally ended up on rock stages. He felt that Van Halen's massive success proved that audiences were more interested in athletic displays than genuine vocal artistry. What frustrated Rodgers most was not just Roth's acrobatic stage presence, but the fact that critics were praising what Rodgers saw as empty spectacle. While Rodgers was connecting with audiences through powerful singing and emotional honesty, Van Halen was receiving acclaim for what he reportedly called gymnastics routines disguised as rock concerts. He felt that these performances distracted from the fact that singing should be the most important part of a rock show. Rodgers made public comments that seemed to target Roth's energetic stage style. He suggested that great frontmen should use their voice as our primary instrument, not their legs. He believed that some performers thought jumping higher made them better singers, but that real rock magic happened when a singer stood still and let the music move people emotionally. The tension between the two reached its peak when both acts were touring similar arena circuits. At backstage encounters, witnesses reported that Rodgers watched Van Halen's soundchecks with obvious skepticism. He reportedly told his bandmates that rock concerts had become auditions for circus acts instead of emotional experiences. This showed how seriously Rodgers took the artistic integrity of rock performance. The issue with Gene Simmons and Kiss, perhaps one of the most fundamental disagreements, was with Gene Simmons and the band Kiss. This conflict represented a bitter dispute over rock music's essential purpose and how it should be presented to audiences. Kiss was known for their elaborate stage productions, complete with costumes, makeup, and pyrotechnics, which directly conflicted with Rodgers' preference for music-focused performances. The discord began during the mid-1970s, when both acts were conquering arena stages with dramatically different approaches to entertaining audiences. According to music journalists, Rodgers privately told associates that Simmons was essentially a businessman, wearing demon makeup who had confused merchandising with musical artistry. He felt that Kiss represented everything that was wrong with commercialized rock entertainment. What particularly irritated Rodgers was not just Kiss's elaborate costumes and special effects, but their massive commercial success despite what he saw as minimal musical content. While Free and Bad Company were building loyal audiences through song quality and vocal excellence, Kiss was dominating the market through what Rodgers reportedly called Halloween party gimmicks that substitute special effects for actual musical talent and emotional connection. Rodgers believed strongly that rock concerts should be about the songs, not the smoke machines and elaborate productions. He made comments suggesting that some bands thought louder explosions made better music, but that real rock power came from the heart, not from the pyrotechnics budget. This showed his belief that the music itself should be powerful enough to move audiences without needing elaborate visual distractions. The rivalry escalated when both acts competed for headlining slots at major festivals throughout the late 1970s. At industry meetings, witnesses reported that Rodgers questioned Kiss's artistic credibility. He reportedly declared that music fans deserved better than cartoon characters hiding behind makeup, suggesting that Kiss members were afraid to show their true faces because they lacked confidence in their actual musical abilities. The tension with Jon Bon Jovi. The conflict with Jon Bon Jovi represented a generational clash over what constituted genuine rock credibility. This disagreement developed during the mid-1980s when Bon Jovi was achieving massive success through MTV and polished music videos, while Rodgers maintained his traditional approach to hard rock based on years of experience and musical development. According to music industry sources, Rodgers privately told industry veterans that Bon Jovi was essentially a marketing creation who thought good hair and expensive videos could replace years of paying musical dues. He felt that Bon Jovi's instant stardom proved that the music industry had abandoned artistic development in favor of image management and commercial appeal. What aggravated Rodgers was not just Bon Jovi's rapid rise to fame, but the critical acceptance of what he saw as superficial rock craftsmanship. While Rodgers had spent years developing his craft through club performances and studio experimentation, Bon Jovi was receiving acclaim for what Rodgers reportedly called corporate rock designed by focus groups who understood demographics better than actual musical emotion. This disagreement highlighted Rodgers' belief that great rock music required time, experience, and genuine artistic development. He felt that the newer generation of rock stars was taking shortcuts to success without putting in the necessary work to develop their musical abilities and understand the deeper purpose of rock music. The rivalry intensified when both singers were featured in discussions about the greatest rock vocalists of their era. At music industry conferences, witnesses reported that Rodgers openly questioned the newer generation's artistic foundation. He reportedly stated that these newer performers would not last 5 minutes in the clubs where real rock musicians learned their craft, emphasizing his belief that authentic rock credibility could only be earned through experience and dedication. The dispute with Axl Rose. Coming in as the second most significant conflict was Rodgers' disagreement with Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses. This rivalry represented a fundamental disagreement about how to channel raw energy into meaningful musical expression. Rose's volatile and unpredictable approach to rock performance directly conflicted with Rodgers' belief in disciplined professionalism. The hostility reportedly emerged during the late 1980s when Guns N' Roses was revolutionizing hard rock with their dangerous unpredictability, while Rodgers maintained his disciplined approach to creating powerful music. According to music journalists, Rodgers privately told session musicians that Rose was essentially a child throwing tantrums who mistook volatility for artistic depth. He felt that Guns N' Roses proved that audiences were confusing chaos with genuine rebellion. What infuriated Rodgers most was not just Rose's erratic behavior, but the widespread praise this approach was receiving from critics and fans. While Rodgers had built his reputation through consistent excellence and professional reliability, Guns N' Roses was receiving credit for what he reportedly called amateur hour dramatics, disguised as authentic rock rebellion. He believed this approach substituted unprofessional conduct for genuine emotional intensity. Rodgers made public comments that seemed to target Rose's infamous stage behavior. He suggested that great rock came from controlled power, not from losing control completely. He believed that some frontmen thought screaming and storming off stage made them more authentic, but that real rock power required discipline and respect for the audience who had paid to hear music. The conflict reached its peak when both acts were considered for major festival headlining spots. At promoter meetings, witnesses reported that Rodgers questioned Guns N' Roses' reliability as performers. He reportedly declared that rock fans deserved performers who showed up prepared and professional, not prima donnas who treated concerts like therapy sessions. This showed his belief that being a rock star came with responsibilities to the audience and the music itself. The ultimate conflict with Robert Plant. The most shocking and significant conflict was with Robert Plant, Ant, of Led Zeppelin. This disagreement represented the ultimate battle for recognition as Britain's premier rock voice and showed just how complex Rodgers' relationship with success and recognition could be. The tension began in the early 1970s when both singers were being hailed as defining voices of hard rock, but with dramatically different approaches to vocal expression. According to Led Zeppelin biographers, Rodgers privately told close friends that Plant was essentially a mythology student who thought screaming about ancient legends made him profound. He felt that Led Zeppelin's massive success had overshadowed more deserving artists who focused on genuine human emotion rather than fantasy escapism. This conflict was particularly painful for Rodgers because it involved not just artistic differences, but professional jealousy and frustration. Despite his undeniable vocal abilities and songwriting contributions, he reportedly felt that Plant's mystical persona and Led Zeppelin's mythology had unfairly dominated the conversation about British rock excellence throughout the 1970s. The rivalry reached its most devastating point when Led Zeppelin consistently overshadowed other British rock acts in critical polls and commercial success. Rodgers reportedly felt that genuine musical craftsmanship had been overshadowed by theatrical mysticism and excessive volume. This created a lifelong sense of frustration that his more straightforward, emotionally honest approach to rock music had been overlooked in favor of Plant's more flamboyant and mystical style. This conflict with Plant was different from the others because it involved someone who was arguably Rodgers' peer in terms of talent and influence. While his other conflicts were with musicians he felt were taking shortcuts or cheapening rock music, his disagreement with Plant seemed to stem from a belief that the wrong approach to rock music had become more successful and respected than his own. The legacy of these conflicts. These conflicts reveal Paul Rodgers as an artist who was deeply committed to his vision of what rock music should be. He believed that rock should be honest, emotional, and crafted with care and dedication. When he saw other approaches becoming more successful or receiving more acclaim, it created genuine frustration and led to these lasting tensions. Whether Rodgers' pursuit of musical integrity was justified or too rigid remains a matter of debate among music fans and critics. His standards were certainly high, and his criticism of other artists was often harsh. However, his commitment to artistic excellence also helped create some of the most enduring and powerful rock music of all time. The conflicts also show how different artists can have completely different ideas about what rock music should accomplish. Some see it as pure entertainment, others as emotional expression, and still others as theatrical spectacle. Rodgers clearly believed that his approach was not just different, but better and more authentic than the alternatives. These disputes demonstrate that behind the glamorous world of rock stardom, there are often serious artistic and philosophical disagreements about the purpose and presentation of music. Paul Rodgers' conflicts with these 6 musicians show that he was willing to stand up for his beliefs about rock music, even when it created professional tensions and personal animosity. In the end, these conflicts helped define Paul Rodgers as an artist who valued authenticity and emotional honesty above commercial success or industry popularity. Whether one agrees with his positions or not, his willingness to defend his artistic vision shows a level of integrity that is rare in any artistic field.